Hello friends! I decided to do book hauls quarterly because, as I've mentioned before, I generally don't buy a ton of physical books, so I figured that if I did it every 3 months that I would have enough material for a video, and then somehow I ended up buying all of the books in quarter 1 of 2015. I wanted to put a time limit on this, like a 3-minute haul, but since this is my first one, I don't actually know how that is all going to go, so this is experimental, maybe a 3-minute haul, maybe a 4-minute haul, but it's gonna be short. Probably not if I keep rambling at you about what I'm about to do, so let's just do the thing. Let's start in the most obvious place. My bookshelf just in back of me has changed. I really love these shelves, mostly because they are vertical, and I feel like they're non-traditional and pretty special. I don't often see these kind of vertical ones. The shelf is not the thing, it's the new books on top of it, so damn it, I'm not gonna do this in 3 minutes. So the new thing on the shelf behind me is actually the Penguin Drop Caps collection. I saw these mentioned in a video and did a quick Google search and immediately fell in love with the entire thing. And instead of being like a normal human being and slowly collecting them, I decided that I was going to, just buy every single one and totally screw my budget forever. But look at how pretty they are. Each of them has this color thing going on, so you see kind of the rainbow effect going here. The pages are colored as well. I would love to get more traditional horizontal bookshelves just so I could display these a little better with the letters on the front, but for right now the rainbow, the reading rainbow as someone on my Instagram called it, is really looking pretty good too. Next was a set of books that were gifted to me and she really shouldn't have, and these books are amazing. It's the Game of Thrones series, and it's got these like dust jackets so that when they are on the shelf it spells out Game of Thrones. Here we go. I think that's a little better. My friend actually gave these to me as a thank you because I threw her baby shower. So I am throwing baby showers and people are gifting me books, and I feel like that just perfectly summarizes the story of my life. Moving right along, the next books are also in a series, and that is the Fairyland series by Catherine M. Valenti. I read the first book in the series last year and totally fell in love with it, so much so that I didn't immediately move on because I wanted to reread this before I moved on, which is really strange. And I finally did this year in March, and then I went on to buy the remaining entries into the series. There's one more. I believe this is going to be a quintet, and it hasn't been released yet, but I'm ready for when it does. This is the girl who fell beneath Fairyland and led the revels there. This is the girl who soared over Fairyland and cut the moon in two. And this is the boy who lost Fairyland. The next set of books are things that I just outright bought. First we have this Barnes & Noble edition of Jane Eyre. At first on this shelf what I had was a collection of Jane Austen, the same kind of edition from Barnes & Noble, Jane Austen novels. So you saw this on this bookshelf for a little bit, and then I bought the drop caps. So now this is just kind of hanging out with me. It's actually the third. I've got 3 copies of Jane Eyre. This one, the Drop Cap series version now, and I have the original one that I read in high school. When I went to Barnes & Noble's, it was actually after dinner with my best friend, or maybe we were shopping at Sephora. We were doing something and they were like, hey, wanna go to the bookstore? And we did, and I bought that, and then also Station 11. It was emotional shopping. I was trying to make myself feel better, and so many people have said such lovely things about Station 11 that I did a thing and bought a book I hadn't read, but it did make me feel better. I haven't even read it yet, and it made me feel better. Next are 2 books that I pre-ordered or bought as soon as they were released because they called out to me that much. First is Monstrous by Marcy K. Connolly, which called out to me, but I haven't read yet. Next we have Vanishing Girls by Lauren Oliver. I pre-ordered this book. I've mentioned before that Lauren Oliver and I have a love-hate relationship, but I pretty much read anything she will release. I need to know if I will love or hate it. I started this as soon as I got it and I rushed through the first like 100 pages and then I stopped. It partially due in part to a reading slump kind of thing and being busy with school, but I haven't picked it up again. And the last set of books, which I will show you, come thanks to Book Outlet, which is also something that I discovered in the last couple of months. First I have Please Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. Next I have Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. Not a Drop to Drink by Mandy McGuinness, and I'm pretty excited to read this because I know Trina at Between Chapters really likes this series. Next I have Serafina by Rachel Hartman. I bought this because Mike at Slice of Mike was reading this and he said it was kind of like The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender with dragons. I have Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which I actually have read this, and they had the hardcover copy for pretty cheap, so I wanted to start building my collection of these. They have Scarlet on there currently, but only in softcover, so because I bought this in hardcover, I want to match them up, but I'll slowly acquire them all. And finally, a graphic novel that I've heard a few people talking about, it's Anya's Ghost. So those are all of the things that I acquired in January, February, and March. I don't think this was 3 minutes, but hopefully it wasn't like a million minutes long. If you guys want more information on any of the books that I've shown, or if you have opinions on hauls in general, what you like to see in them, what you don't like to see in them, and that sort of thing, go ahead and leave me a comment. I think generally people now try and hold all of their books at the same time, and I'm not really sure why. And because I struggled with just the Game of Thrones series, and I have 26 books here, it's not gonna happen. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon. I don't intend to give synopsis.